Okay, I am back and we are ready to use our white to add some snow because we want this to be a winter scene. So you guys will not be able to see the white, but what I want you to do is put a little layer. I'm just going to use this pencil. Do not do yours with pencil, okay, because the pencil's hard to get off once you put oil pastel over it. But what I want you to do is kind of make a layer of white on top of this branch. So starting against the branch, and then make a puffy white layer where the snow has fallen and landed on your branch. And when you get to his legs, you need to go over them. Don't put white on his legs. Go in between and work around, okay? Kind of make that like a little puffy layer. Watch out for his tail. You want to go around that too. And then once you have that on, oh, don't forget, if you did 2 branches, don't forget to put a little white snow on that bottom branch too, okay? And then we're going to take that, we're going to keep doing that white crayon because we're going to start with our lightest colors first. And so the lightest color on him is the white right here and the white right here. We're even going to put white on his belly, and then we can mix this tan color in so that it won't be too dark, okay? I'm going to put white on his wings too because I know I can put black over that and white on his tail. The only place I'm going to avoid is right here where that's solid black, okay? So I'm going to fill in all of this good and solid with white. And you really want to do a good job with this because when we go to paint this, if you get some paint on here, oops, I got a little bit on my eye. I'm going to scratch that off. I want to go around my eye, so right above my eye, but I don't want to actually get it on my eye. There we go. And I want to go right next to this beard, but I don't want to get it on the beard. So what I was saying about when we go to paint this is if we get paint on this bird, we can actually paint like right across him and it won't even hardly hurt him if we've got oil pastel. It might make him a little bit blue or whatever color we're using. All right, I'm also going to put it on the wings because remember I said the wings, I'm going to streak the black and the gray right over top of them. So I'm going to paint my wings. And if yours gets really low like mine is, you can peel it just a little bit, but don't peel all the paper off because the paper is what protects our fingers from getting all dirty, and it also helps the oil pastel not to break, okay? I'm going to put some on his tail too. All right, the last place I might want to use this white is if you want to have snow falling down from the sky. And if that's something you want, then you're going to want to take your white and just kind of twist it. You want to make little twists so you can kind of see where it's making marks on the paper, or kind of push and pull a little bit. If you just do this, you're going to be disappointed because it's not going to show up, and it also kind of hurts our oil pastels. It can break them. So take it and either twist and push, or like touch it and push down and kind of pull away so that you get little dots like that. And if you tip your paper kind of to the side, I don't know if you guys can see mine. Can you see it? Yeah, if you tip it to the side, you should be able to see where you're making those marks. If you can't see them, then whatever you're doing isn't working, and you're going to be disappointed when you paint over this because the white isn't going to be there. The oil pastel has to be a dark enough spot of oil pastel for it to show up, okay? Now I'm not going to do this whole thing while you watch me. I'm just going to pause here and I will be right back. Okay, I am back. I've got all my little snowflakes in the background, and if I tip it, you can kind of see, all my little snowflakes. I put a lot of them in there because I want it to really be snowing. And next we're going to use the color for his tummy. Now you could be unique on this if you want. There are quite a few colors here that you could probably use. I see like these would work. There's a kind of skin color, peachy color. Where'd that go? Any of these colors would probably work because we've already put white. If we put a little bit of this in there and kind of smear it, it'll look pretty good. I kind of like the peachy color, so I'm going to go with that one. But you could use any of those. And I'm going to put it just right here, just under his wings, because that's where it looked like. If you look on his on our picture, it's kind of just right here underneath this wing. So I'm going to put it there, and then I'm going to kind of soften it with my finger because I don't want it to be super dark. Just blend it in with my white. And then I'm going to put, that's all I need of that one. I'm going to put that away. The next darkest color, because we're starting with our very lightest colors, which was white, and now we're working up. That was my next darkest. Then I think gray would be the next color that I would choose, okay? Because black is definitely darker and brown is definitely darker. So I'm going to start with gray. And the gray was on his wings, and it was in lines. So I'm just going to draw some lines on here with the gray. I know I'm going to put a few black lines in there too, but I want to get the gray in. If you look at him, Some of it's kind of solid gray up here, so I might do a little bit of solid gray. And then some of it is actually lines, and I want to keep those lines. And the tail feathers look like they are lines, so I'm just going to do some stripes going up and down his tail. And then, oh, I even see a little bit of gray. This part right here is a little bit gray, so I'm going to color that gray. Okay, and then I'm going to put that one away. And the next darkest color I see is the brown of the branch. So I like to mix browns, so I'm going to pick all 3 browns. There's like a rusty color brown, there's a dark brown, and then there's this tan color. I'm going to use all 3 of those, and I don't know if I mentioned it, but I'm also going to be using a little bit of this green because there was some lichens. It's kind of a moss that was on the branch that I was looking at, one of them anyway. So I'm going to mix these colors. I think I'm going to start with the lightest one and put a little bit of light brown in here. I'm leaving some white spaces so that I can fill that in with the darker brown in just a minute. So I'm getting my tan color in. When you get to the feet, watch out for the feet. Don't do the oil pastels over the feet. Go around them. Same thing with the tail. You want to watch out for your tail so you don't turn it brown, right? We want our tail to stay nice and gray so it doesn't look like it's part of the branch. All right, that looks good. Then I'm going to switch to this rust. Now I don't know if I want too much of the rusty brown. I think I want the dark brown in. Well, I kind of like it. Try it, just kind of brush it in there and see what you think. I think that looks pretty. And then lastly, I'm going to put some of the dark brown in. Now, to get a 3D effect, if we want it to look 3D, we might need to put a little bit, just a touch of black on the very bottom of the branch. Okay, then I'm done with that one. Now I'm going to put my dark brown in. Ooh, I like the dark brown too, but I wouldn't like it, I don't think, if it was solid brown. Oh, I've got to be careful. Be careful, you can sometimes scratch a little bit off if you accidentally get it somewhere you don't want it. Luckily I got that scratched off, but I didn't want it on my tail, right? I don't want a brown tail and I don't want brown feet, but I do want it to go in between the feet and the toes, so I'm going to take my time when I get close to them. And I'm also going, you might have noticed, I'm going the direction of the branch because I don't want it, I want it to really look like wood, so I'm trying to give it that wood feeling. If I were to go across like this, do you think it would look as much like wood, like real bark? Nope. So do the lines, the direction, and do it all the way to the edge there if you can. Okay, lastly, I'm going to put a few little green mossy spots on mine. You don't have to do this, but I want to. I like it. I think it looks kind of cool. It looks like the tree's actually got some moss growing on it. Okay. And then I might actually put a little bit more of that light color. And you want to make sure this is not got any white paper showing through. If the white paper shows through when we paint over this, if we accidentally get the paint on it, it'll turn our branch kind of blue. I don't want a blue branch, right? So I want to make sure I got pretty filled in there with color. Okay, last color, who knows what it is? Yep, I hope you said black. This is the darkest color. This is the one we saved for last because it can kind of overpower everything else. So he's called a black cap chickadee, so I'm going to start by coloring in his black cap. I'm going to be sure I go around his eye, and I'm going to fill that in with black, nice and solid, so he looks like he's got that nice little black cap. And then I'm going to do his, well, we called it his beard, but this little part of black that's kind of right underneath his chin, covers of his chin. And then I'm going to do some stripes on his tail, and I'm going to do some on his wing. Lots of black stripes, I think even there. Okay, and lastly, underneath this branch, I want it to have a little shadow, so I'm just going to put one little line of black here, just a little bit where it would be a little darker because there'd be no sun shining on it. There, I'm pretty satisfied with that. I'm going to put that black away. Oh, by the way, the black would have been in with the cool colors, right? So it goes back in here. So does the gray. I don't think this gray belongs in here. The warm colors will have your browns and your peaches and the white, and the cool colors are going to have your black and gray. Okay? Once you're done with that, you're going to bring this up to Mrs. Walker. We'll probably be doing the watercolor paints next week. Have fun.